Thank you, Congressman. I have been very proud in our presentations to the State Department to have a co-counsel who has 25 years of experience in international litigation and arbitration and settlement of disputes. Stephen is our last speaker today before I close this program. And there's probably no one more knowledgeable in the country on Camp Ashraf or the designation of the foreign terrorist organization who has served longer in this cause. Stephen Schneebaum is a lecturer of international human rights law at Johns Hopkins. He has served as counsel for the U.S. families of Camp Ashraf. He's traveled to Camp Ashraf on 2 occasions, recently as August 2008. I'm very proud to introduce you our co-counsel who has led the fight on this issue of the foreign terrorist designation and standing up for the residents of Camp Ashraf. Stephen?
Well, thank you, Senator. And before I begin my remarks, which could be subtitled, "And now a word from our lawyer," since I am the last speaker, I think it would be appropriate for me to indicate what a tremendous supporter of the PMOI and of Camp Ashraf we have had in Senator Bob Torricelli, who deserves all of our thanks. Now, my friends, I've been asked to do 2 things in my remarks today. One, to provide some legal context for some of what you've been hearing this morning, and the second is to update you on the state of play with respect to both the petition for delisting and also the condition of the good people at Camp Ashraf. With respect to the petition, the matter is fairly clear, but for those of you unfamiliar with the chronology, we filed our petition to delist the PMOI in the summer of 2008. The statutory framework gives the Department of State 180 days to come up with a decision, to decide on the petition. This was the first petition, I should tell you, the first petition ever submitted by an organization to be removed from the foreign terrorist organization list. Well, the Department did, in fact, respond in 180 days. In fact, I think they beat the deadline by 2 or 3 days. In January of 2009, right before the Bush administration went out of office, Secretary Rice issued an opinion denying our petition, but at the same time recommending that her decision be revisited within 2 years. The decision was based entirely on classified information that we, as counsel to the PMOI, were not even permitted to see, much less to rebut. This was something right out of an old movie about the Soviet Union. And so we petitioned to, as the statute permits, to the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. And after briefing and oral argument, the court reversed the decision of the Secretary and remanded the petition to her, now to the new administration, to revisit the conclusions after having given the PMOI due process of law. Due process of law meant at least some understanding, at least some exposure to the information on the basis of which the Department was apparently ready to conclude that PMOI remains a terrorist organization.